So let's talk about selections. So what are selections? Well, selections are those finishes that me as a builder or most other builders, we might know the types of floor, the types of drywall texture, the types of appliances that you want, but we don't exactly know the name brand or exactly the coloration of the floor or the final configuration of the cabinets. All of those finishes are called selections. So think about selections are those things that you as the client have to make a decision choice for the project to move forward. And if we don't make those selections or those decisions timely, the project may stall out. So it's important that you understand what selections you have from your builder, and there's going to be different levels of selections, just like there are different levels of service that each builder is going to provide. So one builder might provide you a selection showroom, and you make a 4-hour appointment. You show up to the showroom, and at the end of that 4-hour, you have picked all of the different selections that you want. So they might have pre-established cabinets with pre-established countertops with floors that go with that, and you walk in and you go, I want this one, I want that one, I want this one. We write it all down, we give you the budget number, and then you move on to the next choice. Some builders might give you, do you want package number 1, package number 2, or package number 3? That might be a level of selection service that some builders offer. Some builders might offer you the service of, here is a list of our vendors, go meet with our vendors, and while you're talking to our vendors, please write down your decisions, bring those back to us, and we will price everything out, and then we'll finalize your selections. Another level of service might be an assistance, and there are some builders out there that will insist upon bringing in an interior designer. And an interior designer is another professional who is going to add to the level of sophistication and also the overall feeling and performance of the interior spaces of your home. And if you have a large home or if you have very complicated tastes, that might be an additional expense that may be well worth it to you. But many builders, such as myself, we have what we call a selections manager. And our selections manager is very trained in trends. She's very trained on what the styles are, and she will go with you to all of our vendors to make sure that you pick out a cohesive package of finishes that complement one another and match what you envision your home to be. And also what's really important, because you're going around now with our selections manager, and she's a fellow builder just like we are, she understands budget, she understands pricing, and she is gonna fight to keep you on budget because that is important. When you have a piece of paper and you're going out to the vendor and the vendor says, oh, that's a wonderful light, call your builder and he will tell you what the price is. How do you stay in budget with that? It's really hard, right? It's really hard because you don't know what the price is for that thing that you're picking. I think that's doing a disservice. And our level of service is that we have our selections manager with you every step of the way, guiding you on durability, color, performance, and really important, that budget component of everything that you decide on. And I think that as you're making selections, you have to go through a plan. If you just go out and try and make all of these decisions on your own, I'm not kidding you, you are going to fall over with fatigue. We commonly call that decision fatigue. And let me give you an example. You're going to go to the cabinet shop and pick out your cabinets, and you think you're just going to go there, look at some cabinets, decide on a final layout, maybe pick a color, boom, you're done. It's way more than that. You're going to get your layout, and now you have to talk about, do you want doors? Do you want drawers?
What do you want your door fronts to be?
What do you want your door fronts to be? What do you want your hinges to be? What do you want your sliders to be? What do you want your poles? Or do you want knobs? What about the pieces of wood? What about the color? Do you want it painted?
Oh my goodness, it gets complicated. That's where our selections manager really comes in. She is going to have a plan, and she's going to guide you through that process, and she is going to put you with selections that naturally complement each other. For instance, your cabinets and your countertops. You definitely want to make those decisions together. And our selections manager will have that plan, and she will make sure you stay on track, and she will help you prevent decision fatigue, because we know from experience that a full day of making selection decisions is really going to wear you out. So we'll break that up over a course of days. Also, I think it's important that you think about the long term. Trends are cool, right? We all like to be trendy. But, you know, back in the day, or at least when I was a kid, maybe not for you, but back in the day, those hanging beads in your doorways, those were pretty cool for a hot moment, right? Not so anymore. What were we thinking? My goodness. Our selections manager is going to help you pick those classic styles. And yes, there are some splashes where you can be really trendy, but let's pick those areas of your house that it's easily changed. Paint color, that's a great thing that we can be very trendy on because it's easy to change. But those classic styles are going to remain for years and years and years. Another one's going to be lighting. Make sure that you're paying attention to not just the light fixture itself, but what's the color of light? How many times have you been into a home or particularly an older building and they'll have different color of light bulbs? So you'll see a bright white and you'll see kind of a yellowish orange. Make sure that you're paying attention to that. Again, our selections manager will be there with you and she will make sure that all of these details that you never knew you had to think about are being addressed at the time. So selections. It's a really heavy lift and it's really important, and it's really important that you go through a process and take that step by step by step so you can have these decisions made before we start framing the house. Because once we start framing, all of those things are locked in. If we don't know what fireplace you want, how do we know how to frame your firebox? We don't. So at the end of the day, the selections process is really important. Not just because the selections are going to define the final look and finishes of your house, but also the timeliness of them are going to affect the build progress of your house. So it's important that you select a builder who has a selections process that matches your expectations and is going to guide you through that process to help you stay on schedule, on budget, and a design of your home that you'd love to live in.